Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. Hare Krishna. So we would like to welcome His Holiness Bhanu Swami Maharaj for this online Gaur Purnima festival celebration. We are hearing from different Srila Prabhupada disciples and sannyasis, and in continuation we are having His Holiness Bhanu Swami Maharaj. I would just like to give a brief introduction about Maharaj. Maharaj appeared in Canada and he joined Hare Krishna movement in India in 1970. Maharaj initiated in 1971 by Srila Prabhupada and he took sannyas vows in 1984. Maharaj was personally instructed in the art of deity worship by Srila Prabhupada, and within ISKCON, he has become an authority on the topic. So we would be hearing from Maharaj. We would like to welcome Maharaj by loudly chanting one time Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Does this require a Hindi translation or anything?
Yes, Maharaj, sorry, I could not able to hear.
Does this require a translation Hindi
Yeah, Maharaj, translation is already going in on Facebook.
simultaneously?
Yeah,
Okay. Should I use a PowerPoint and share screen or what?
yeah, Maharaj, you can.
Can do that? Okay. Mam Vishnu Badai, Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale, Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Nityalale, Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharane, Nirvishesha Srimati Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Sri Advaita Gadadhar, Sri Bhaktivedanta, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. So we're celebrating the appearance of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu on Sunday. It's Purnima, the full moon of Falguni month. So for our Sampradaya, which in one sense is established by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the recognition and appreciation and understanding of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is very important for us. Of course, we say we are Brahma Madhva Sampradaya, that is descending from Brahma to Veda Vyas to Madhvacharya, but we come in Lord Chaitanya's line, which is a little bit different from the philosophy propounded by Madhvacharya. We have a philosophy of Madhvacharya has a philosophy of Veda, which emphasizes difference. So our philosophy of one and simultaneously one and different, right? Inconceivable Shakti of the Lord. So we're a little bit different. So this movement was established by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and we give a special significance to Lord Chaitanya. If you look in probably history books in schools, it is called a great saint of Bengal or something like that. But for us, we take him as not just avatar, but actually another version of Krishna himself, who is Swayam Bhagavan, who is the source of all avatars. So therefore, Lord Chaitanya is equated with Krishna himself. So that's a very important concept for us to realize. And though he is Krishna, he's also has some unique features to him, which are expressed by our acharyas very nicely in different verses. If you look in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, you'll find in the very beginning is this verse that describes Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. It's actually a glorification of Lord Chaitanya and asking him to manifest within our hearts at all times. And it describes his some of his qualities. So here it talks about appearance after a long time, which means he only appears after Krishna appears. Krishna only appears once in the day of Brahma, in the 28th Yuga cycle of Bhagavata Manvantara. Once in the day of Brahma, Krishna appears. After that, we find Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appears, and he offers something which was not offered previously. Anapita Charim, something very, very wonderful. And he appears when? In Kali Yuga. Hello. So what does he offer? Ujjvala Rasa. Ujjvala means Madhurya Rasa. Unnata means very exalted Madhurya Rasa. So this is the Madhurya Rasa, most exalted in Radharani. So this is what he offers to the people of Kali Yuga. So this may this Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the Son of Sachi, manifest in our hearts, and his rupa is described, his form is described here. He is shining like gold. He's golden in color. So this is the description of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. May the Supreme Lord, who is known as the son of Srimati Sachidevi, be transcendented, situated in the innermost chambers of your heart. So though we take Krishna as Swayam Bhagavan, as followers of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, we go through Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to approach Radha and Krishna. Resplendent with the radiance of molten gold, he has appeared in the age of Kali by his causeless mercy, so what no incarnation has ever offered before, the most sublime and radiant mellow devotional service, the mellow of love. So that is the love of Radha. So no one has, no other avatar offers this. Of course, Krishna in one sense does, but it's rather rare for people to realize that. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu offers it freely to the people of Kali Yuga. So that's his speciality. Here's another verse, also appears in Amrita, that describes the esoteric reasons for Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's appearance. Now, of course, he appears as the avatar of Kali Yuga to spread Nam Sankirtan, etc. But there is also some more internal reasons for Lord Chaitanya appearing. This verse describes that. Huh? So there's actually three reasons, internal reasons for his appearance. One is he desires to experience Radharani's love. He wants to understand what is the greatness of Radha's love. So he can look at Radha and he can speculate about what is her love and what is the greatness and how much she loves him, but he really cannot know for sure. The only way he can really understand the greatness of her love if he takes the role of Radha, acts like Radha, the devotee of Krishna, and then experiences Krishna and goes through all the different experiences of Mahabharata. So that is one reason why he appears. So he wants to experience the greatness of her love. And by understanding that, then his love for her increases. He wants to understand what qualities does Radha appreciate in Krishna. So we see that Krishna, Radharani is completely devoted to Krishna and attracted to him and stimulated by his various qualities. So what are those qualities, special qualities that invoke her love? So to understand that, he has to take the role of Radha and begin to appreciate and worship Krishna. And then the third reason, first reason was the greatness of her love. And what is that bliss, the happiness that she experiences when she realizes Krishna? What is Radha's bliss? He wants to experience that bliss. So as Krishna, he cannot do so. So he takes the mood of Radha. So therefore, the Supreme Lord Hari, richly endowed with her emotions, appeared from the moon of Sachi Devi as the moon appeared from the ocean. So it's Krishna assuming the mood of Radha. That is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So here's another verse, which is also mentioned in Chaitanya, which shows how Radha and Krishna combine in the form of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. The loving affairs of Radha and Krishna are manifestations of the Lord's internal pleasure-giving potency, the Hladini Shakti. So when Radha and Krishna have pastimes, this is a manifestation of Hladini Shakti. Although Radha and Krishna are one in their identity, they separate themselves eternally. So Krishna is there, and the Hladini Shakti separates as Radha. And then when Lord Chaitanya appears, the two merge together. So we have Krishna with the mood of Radha. So the Hladini Shakti merges with Krishna, and this becomes Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So when he appears as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he takes up the sentiment of Radha and the complexion of Radha, which means golden color, even though he is. So these three verses kind of indicate the exalted nature of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Another aspect is that though he is non-different from Krishna and is considered avatar or avatari, he is also covered. So the scriptures in Bhagavatam itself also, they explain that the Lord appears in three yugas, Satya, Treta, and Dwapara. He does not appear in Kali Yuga, usually. But then we'll say, well, what about the Yuga Avatar? Every Kali Yuga, there's a Yuga Avatar. The answer given is that in Kali Yuga, the Yuga Avatar is actually a Shaktivesh Avatar, whereas in the other Yugas, actually Supreme Lord. So in Kali Yuga, the Lord appears by giving a Jiva some of his powers. That's the Shaktivesh Avatar in Kali Yuga. However, when Lord Chaitanya comes, of course, he's not a Shaktivesh Avatar, he's not a Jiva, he is non-different from Krishna. But still, he has to start cover up himself. So therefore, he's called Chanda Avatar. Okay? So this is a verse in the 7th canto. Chanda Kalau. In Kali Yuga, the Lord covers himself up because he's considered to be Tri Yuga, appearing in only 3 yugas. Therefore, Lord Chaitanya is non-different from the Supreme Lord and actually is the source of all the other avatars. When he comes as Lord Chaitanya, he hides his powers and he acts like a devotee. And we see that in many cases. We see that when he met Prakasananda Saraswati, he acted very humbly, like a very low sannyasi sitting in the corner where the people wash their feet. So he acted very, very much like a devotee, not like the Supreme Lord. In the Bhagavatam, we have several descriptions of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, which are often quoted. So when after Krishna was born and taken to Vraja, then Nanda Maharaj performed the name-giving ceremony of Krishna, and Gargamuni came for that, and then he began to name the children, Krishna and Balaram, and describe some of their qualities related to their names. So in relation to Krishna, Gargamuni recites this verse, just as now in Dwapara Yuga, the source of avatars appears, attracting all within himself with black color, that's Krishna. So in Kali Yuga as well, during the first part, all avatars appear within him when he takes a yellow form. So here we have Pita, the golden form of Lord Chaitanya mentioned. So we have Sukla, white form appearing in Satya Yuga, and Rakta, or red form appearing in Treta Yuga. And we have Krishna, blackish form, appearing in Dwapara Yuga. And then we have in Kali Yuga, the yellow form of Krishna appearing. But he's actually, so usually in Kali Yuga, there is a Shaktivesh avatar who is also black, who actually does kirtan. This is not Krishna himself. It's a Shaktivesh avatar. So when Lord Chaitanya comes, he's not blackish, he is golden in color, but he is non-different from Krishna. But he hides himself because he acts like a devotee. So that was the prediction of Gargamuni. So Krishna has all the avatars within him. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has all the other forms within him also. Sometimes devotees like to worship other forms, so they worship Nrsimhadev or whatever. but actually everything's in Krishna. All the other forms are there. So all the other forms are also in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. This is a very famous verse from the 11th canto when the question is asked about the Yuga avatars. In relation to Kali Yuga, this verse appears. And we often quote this to support that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the Yuga avatar. Those who understand the confidential meaning of scriptures worship the Lord, who is black internally and golden externally, accompanied by his associates, weapons, major, minor, limbs, chief. So he is Krishna Varnam. He is of the category of Krishna, non-different from Krishna, but he is Akrishna, opposite, pale in color, and Twisha in his complexion. So he's not blackish in complexion like Krishna in Vrindavan. He is golden in complexion, but he is nevertheless same class as Krishna. So this is mentioned in the 11th. So to summarize, Krishna appears in the mood of Radha, but he's actually Krishna. And because he's in the mood of Radha, he also takes up Radha's golden complexion. And he also is the Yuga avatar, as mentioned in 11th canto. So therefore, he represents the Yuga Dharma, Nam Sankirtan. Of course, this Nam Sankirtan is not just normal Nam Sankirtan, it's the name of Radha and Krishna. That's the speciality of the name of Kirtan. Hare for Radha and Krishna. And the fourth point is that Krishna appears in a covered form in Kali Yuga. He acts more like a devotee than the other forms. So he hides his powers. So we worship Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, but we also worship others as well. Like Krishna, when he comes, he does not come alone. He comes with his associates, mother and father and other associates. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also comes with his associates. Yeah? So among his associates, we have these other four primary devotees. So together with Lord Chaitanya, they make five. So we call them Panchatattva. So we have in our prayer Panchatattva Kam Krishnam Bhakta Rupa Kam Bhakta Vataram Bhakta Kam Namami Bhakta Shaktam. I offer my obeisance unto the Supreme Lord Krishna, who's non-different from his features as devotee, devotional incarnation, devotee manifestation, pure devotee, and devotional energy. So Lord Chaitanya comes as Bhakta Rupa in the form of a devotee. And then Nityananda is Sarupa, his first expansion. Advaita Acharya is Bhakta Avatara, the Purusha Avatar, Mahavishnu, comes as a devotee. And then we have Srivas Pandit, who acts as he is a devotee, Bhakta. And we have Gadadhar Pandit, who is the Shakti of Krishna, who appears as a devotee. So we have Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who's non-different from Swami Bhagavan Krishna, with his counterpart Radha, who becomes Gadadhar, Shakti Tattva. We have Lord Chaitanya's great associate Nityananda Prabhu, who is the first expanse, non-different from Balaram, who's the first expansion from Krishna. We have Advaita Prabhu, who is the first Purusha Avatar Mahavishnu. And we have Srivas Pandit, who represents Jiva Tattva or Narada Muni. So this way we have different categories represented. We have Swami Bhagavan represented. We have his first expansion of Balaram. We have the Purusha avatars, also expansions from the Lord. And then we have Shakti Tattva, consort of the Lord. And we have Jivas represented. So of course, at the top we put Lord Chaitanya and Gadadhar, like Radha and Krishna, and then Nityananda is next, the first expansion. Then we have Mahavishnu, and then we have Shiva, like Narada Muni, Shakti, the Jiva, power Jiva. So these we worship as Panchatattva. So Krishna and Balaram had many pastimes in Vrindavan, and while they performed their pastimes, their relationship was that of friends or Sakya Rasa. So when Nityananda and Lord Chaitanya performed their pastimes, we also see this Sakya Rasa manifested. Many friendly relationships. They joked, they played, they fought, friendly manner together. So if you read the story of Nityananda and Panihati, you see that Nityananda brought all of his associates there, and they sat down and they took their chipped rice, just as the cowherd boys in Vrindavan sat down together and had a picnic in the forest. Again, Lord Chaitanya was called by Nityananda mentally from Puri, and then Lord Chaitanya appeared, and Nityananda could see him, and they joked together and they fed each other. Not just like in Vrindavan, Krishna fed the cowherd boys. So Nanda was putting food in Lord Chaitanya's mouth and joking. So this is a show of their Sakya Rasa. So Advaita Charya is considered to be Mahavishnu and also Shiva. So now he descends along with Lord Chaitanya to preach bhakti. So the normal function of Mahavishnu is to manifest all the universes by glancing over Prakriti. So he's a very powerful entity in the creation of all the material worlds. So that is one function of Mahavishnu. As well, he is the storehouse of all of the jivas. When pralaya takes place, all the destruction takes place, while the universes, all the jivas rest within Mahavishnu. So he is the source of all the jivas. When universes are created, Mahavishnu glances and he places all the jivas into all the different universes. So he is the, say, the protector of all the jivas in the material world. He's also the source of Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, the source of all the avatars. So, if Advaita Charya appeared in this world in Shantipur before Lord Chaitanya, and he began to observe the decadence, corruption of civilization at that time. Navadvip was famous as a center of learning, but was also a center of a lot of mental speculation and worship of Durga Devi and other devatas. Advaita Charya was very disturbed by this. So he thought that the only person who could correct the situation would be the Lord himself. So then he prayed to Krishna to appear. And he did this by offering tulsi leaves and Ganga water to Shalagram Shila with great devotion. He remembered this verse, Tulasi Galavatrena Jalasya Chulapena Va Vikrini Te Somatmanam Bhaktevyo Bhaktavatsalaha. Krishna, who is very affectionate towards devotees, sells himself to a devotee who offers him merely a tulsi leaf and a palm full of water. So this is what Advaita Charya did. He worshipped Shalagram Shila with tulsi and Ganga water, and he prayed, Supreme Lord, you have to appear in this world, deliver everybody. So by this means, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared and spread the Sankirtan movement. So the direct cause of his appearance was Advaita Charya. When the direct cause of Krishna's appearing was the Devatas and Brahma. They went to the milk ocean and prayed to Vishnu, please help us, because Kamsa is disturbing everybody. So in this case, Advaita Charya prayed to the Supreme Lord, you must come to deliver the people of Kali. So Gadadhar Pandit is Shakti of the Lord. Sadangi Shakti said he's actually Radha. But like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who does not manifest himself as Krishna, Gadadhar Pandit does not explicitly show himself as Radha. So therefore the relationship of Gadadhar with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is hidden. They don't manifest Madhurya Rasa together. But nevertheless, there's a very close relationship between persons. In Mayapur, Gadadhar was always with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And when he went to Lord Chaitanya went to Puri, then Gadadhar Pandit stayed there with him at all times. So their association was very close. So there are a few deities of Gaur Gadadhar, for instance, in the Yoga Pit, we have Gaur Gadadhar. Srivas Pandit is considered to be Muni, who's a jiva with special powers. And of course, Narada Muni, his special Shakti is Bhakti. So Narada Muni preaches Bhakti everywhere. So Srivas Pandit is an empowered jiva who preaches Bhakti. And in fact, we find that Lord Chaitanya had a very close relationship with Srivas Pandit when he came back from Gaya and was intoxicated with prema and kirtan. He began his kirtan movement in Srivas Pandit's house. So every night, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would gather with his devotees. They would lock the doors. So in the courtyard, then they would have kirtan all night. This went on for almost a year. Srivas Pandit was the host for this nightly kirtans. These kirtans are very special. In Krishna's pastimes, Rasa Leela is considered to be the most exalted Leela. So the equivalent in Navadvip Leela is the Kirtans, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, equivalent to the Rasa Leela. So these Kirtans were very exalted and they took place behind closed doors in Srivas Pandit's house. So this shows this very close relationship with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So this is the origin of the Sankirtan movement house. And therefore, if you go to Shiva's Angam today, you'll see that is represented where we see Lord Chaitanya with the Sankirtan party there. Also, in Srivas's place, at one point, after some time, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu manifested himself as the Supreme Lord. There was a 21-hour kirtan, and then Lord Chaitanya sat on the asana of Vishnu, and all of the associates began to worship him. That is represented in the song that we sing at Arti at night, where Nityananda is on the right-hand side, Gadadhar is on the left-hand side, nearby is Advaita Acharya, and Srivas Pandit is holding the umbrella. In the middle is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu sitting on a jeweled throne, and Brahma and all the Devatas of the Arti. So this was a pastime that took place one night in, one whole day in Shiva's Angam. That's also represented in Shiva's Angam. If you go there, you hear the umbrella is there, and Nityananda, Advaita, Srivas are all there, along with Gadadhar. So besides the those four associates of Lord Chaitanya, we have many associates in Navadvip, many associates in Puri, and many associates in Vrindavan. And just as Krishna has many associates, so many of these associates of Lord Chaitanya are related, or we can say are forms of Krishna's associates in Vrindavan. For instance, we have parents of Krishna and grandparents also. Chaitanya and Varyasi are the grandparents, and Soda and Nanda are Krishna's parents. Krishna was the eighth child. So similarly, we have parents of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu who are like Nanda and Yasoda. We have Upendra Misra and Kamalavati as the grandparents, and then Jagannath Misra and Sachi as the parents. And after 10 children were unfortunately didn't survive, Vishnu was born, and then and of course Vasudeva and Rohini gave birth to Balaram. So we have equivalents of Harai Pandit Padmavati. They gave birth to Nityananda. Radha was born from Vrishabhanu and Kirtida, and Gadadhar Pandit, not physically, was not, but the guru of Gadadhar was Pundarik Vidyanidhi, and his wife was Ratnavati. They're considered to be non-living with Vrishabhanu and Kirtida. So Pundarik Vidyanidhi was the guru, Diksha guru of Gadadhar Pandit. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took his sannyas mantra from Keshav Bharati. So that is considered to be Sandipani Muni. In Krishna's pastimes, Garga Muni did the Namkarana, name-giving ceremony. And in Lord Chaitanya's pastimes, he is Nilambar Chakravarti, who gave Chaitanya Mahaprabhu this Vishwambar. The temple of Nilambar Chakravarti is still there in Dalpapur. If you've gone on Purnima, then you have seen that temple. So the Supreme Lord has many wives like Lakshmi and Bhudevi, etc. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had two wives, Lakshmi Priya, who is the same as Lakshmi, and Vishnu Priya, who is equivalent of Bhudevi, who represents Navadvip Dham. So if you go to the Yog Pit, then you'll see Lakshmi Priya, Vishnu Priya, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu there. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is there called Gaur Narayana. It's like in Vaikuntha, because he has Lakshmi and Bhudevi. So Balaram had two wives, Ravati and Varuni. Nityananda had two wives, Janava and Vasudha. So Narada Muni became Srivas Pandit, and Narada Muni had a very famous friend, Parvata Muni, who often accompanied him, as he did when they delivered the Nagari the Hunter. So Sri Ram Pandit is considered to be Parvata Muni. He was the brother of Srivas. We have other persons who are not even in Krishna Lila. So we have Murari Gupta in Lord Chaitanya Lila, who is Hanuma, very great devotee of Ramchandra. So Murari Gupta was a great devotee of Ramchandra also. And even though Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ordered him to give up the worship of Rama and worship Krishna, he refused to do so. And Lord Chaitanya praised him, said that is very good that you devoted yourself to Ramchandra. So he's considered to be the same as Hanuman, completely devoted to Rama. Haridas Thakur is considered to be several persons, Prahlad. Like Prahlad, Haridas Thakur got tortured in many ways. He was also born in a family of demons. So Haridas was born in a Yavana family. He's also equated with Brahma and with a Brahmana called Bhahata Brahma. In Vrindavan, Krishna and Balaram have 12 famous cowherd boy friends like Sridama, Vasudama, and Subal, etc. So in Lord Chaitanya's pastimes, we have their equivalents. So they're considered to be 12 Gopals in Lord Chaitanya's pastime. They often accompanied Nityananda Prabhu on his preaching ventures throughout Bengal. So we have persons like Abhiram Thakur, Dhanananda, Gauridas Pandit, Kaladas, Balakrishna Das, Nikolai, Kolovecha Sridhar, Mahesh Pandit, Nagar Purushottamam Parameshwari Das, Purushottam Das, Sundarananda Thakur, and Udaran. Well, cowherd boys. So Vedavyas revealed Bhagavatam, and in Chaitanya's pastime, Vrindavan Das Thakur manifested Chaitanya Bhagavat. In Puri, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu associated with Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, a very learned scholar. So he is equated with Brihaspati, who was the priest of the Devatas. Ramananda Roy played a huge role in Puri, where he was a very intimate associate of Lord Chaitanya. So he is a number of personalities. Arjuna, as one of the 5 Pandavas, he had Ramananda had brothers, so there were 5 brothers, and so he's also like Arjuna. And there's a Gopa in Vrindavan, a cowherd boy called Arjuna, sometimes equated with him. He's also equated with Lalita, a very intimate Saki of Radharani, and he's also considered to be Arjuna Gopi, another Gopi. So Radha and Krishna have their Sakis, main Sakis in Vrindavan. So similarly, Lord Chaitanya had his Sakis also manifested in different personalities. So, for instance, we had, of course, Ramananda was like Lalita, Damodar was Vishaka, and Vanamali was Chitra, and Raghava Goswami was Chakrabalata, Purnima Saraswati was Vidya, Krishnadas Brahmachari was Induleka, Gadadhar Bhatta was Rangadevi, and Brahmachari was Sridevi. Named gopis represented by different personalities who were mainly associated with Lord Chaitanya. But we also have manjaris of Radha and Krishna. So the Goswamis in Vrindavan, like the manjaris, serve a little bit indirectly. They don't directly, the manjaris don't directly relate with Krishna. They like to serve, but they don't have a direct association with them. So Goswamis in Vrindavan served at a distance from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So we have Rupa Goswami, Rupa Manjari, Sanatana Rati Manjari, Gopal Bhatta as Nanda Manjari, Jiva as Vilas Manjari, Raghunath as Rasa Manjari, Raghunath Bhatta as Raga Manjari, Garba Goswami as Hema Manjari, and Lokanath as Lila Manjari. So they served Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Vrindavan. And though they served at a distance, their contribution was very significant. It is because of the literary contributions of Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami, Gopal Bhatta Goswami, Jiva Goswami, and Raghunath Goswami that we have a wealth of Gaudiya literature. And it's with that literature that the Sampradaya can continue. So they were ordered by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to show the nature of bhakti and the holy name and glorify Krishna. As well as doing that, they were also ordered to reveal the pastime places of Krishna and Vrindavan. So, because of their efforts, still today we can see many of the famous spots of Vrindavan, like Radha Kund, other famous places. So, the Goswamis identified these places and started worship at many of these places for the benefit of future devotees. So this way they gave a great contribution to the Sampradaya. So we have a hierarchy of powerful figures. Many people in India worship devatas. They're more powerful than us. But we know that they are generally jivas. So higher than that, we have Vishnu forms and avatar forms. But among those forms, Narasimha has more power. Rama has even more powers and qualities manifest, and Krishna's at the top. We put Krishna in a special category and call him Swayam Bhagavan. So he's at the very top, and whatever quality he has will manifest in these other forms. But then he also has a special quality that do not manifest. So Krishna himself manifests different rasas, and the topmost rasas are manifested in Vrindavan rather than Mathura and Varna. So, but in these rasas, there is various levels of intensity. So the Dasya rasa is considered to be fine, but it is somewhat weak. Sakya rasa, Krishna with his friends, is much stronger. But Salya rasa, Krishna's relationship with his parents, Nanda and Yasoda, and the elder Gopas and Gopis, is even stronger. And at the top we have Krishna and the Gopis in Madhurya rasa. Madhurya rasa is considered to be the supreme rasa because it's the most intense. And within Madhurya rasa, there are billions of gopis. But among them, at the very top, we have Chandravali, and then above her, we have Radha. So Radha is there at the very top with her associates, the Astasakis. So at the very top in Madhurya rasa, we have Radha and Krishna. That represents the topmost intense bliss ever possible in the spiritual world. So that because it's the topmost, it's also difficult to approach. Just as if you want a valuable diamond, you're not going to find that very valuable diamond in the supermarket or in the vegetable market or whatever. You have to go to a very, very special jewelry shop. Not all jewelry shops will have the best diamonds, so you have to go to a very, very high class diamond shop. And if you look there, then you'll find the very expensive, big, pure colored, flawless diamond. And it's very expensive. So not very available for most people, not even visible to most people. The topmost rasa also, Madhurya rasa, and particularly the rasa of Radha and Krishna at the top of Madhurya rasa is not available to people. Fortunately, Krishna came 5,000 years ago and revealed that in Vrindavan and presented in the Bhagavatam for us by the mercy of Vyasa and Sukadeva Goswami. Still, it is difficult for people to understand, comprehend, and realized. However, it should be given to the people. So that is the function of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He manifests, Krishna manifests with the mood of Radha as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and therefore he's able to present Radha and Krishna because he understands Krishna, he understands Radha. And because he is Krishna, he can do this. How does he do it? He does it through the Yuga Dharma Sankirtan. So that fulfills his function of Yuga Avatar. But actually, his purpose is not just to present Harinam or Sankirtan, he's actually presenting Radha and Krishna through Sankirtan. So that is why we don't just say Krishna, 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 Krishna. We say Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. When we say Hare, we're calling out to Radha. When you call out to Radha in Sanskrit, it is Radhe. When you call out to Krishna, it's Krishna. So Hare Krishna is calling out to Radha and calling out to Krishna. So when Lord Chaitanya gives us Hare Krishna mantra, he's not just giving us kirtan or nam-kirtan or even Krishna nam-kirtan. He's giving us Radha Krishna nama sankirtan. So this can be, kirtan means it is public. It is not a secret mantra that you can't hear yourself. It can be announced and sung loudly in public. So this makes it very open. People can begin to have an approach to Radha and Krishna through chanting of Hare Krishna. So Hare is calling out to Radha. Krishna is calling out to Krishna. This is called the Sambodhana, or the vocative form, calling out to Radha and calling out to Krishna. So what do we call Krishna for? If we call Krishna, then Krishna will say, what do you want? Radha will come and say, what do you want? So what do we ask for? So some people, foolish people, may say, oh, Krishna, give me some money. Or Krishna, give me a house. Or Krishna, give me a car. So that's what a fool would ask for. So those who are devotees, they don't want material things, and they don't even want liberation. They don't want freedom from material suffering, get rid of my sickness, etc. Nevertheless, we're calling up to Krishna. So what should we ask for? So we have to ask for something. Of course, we call it to Rama, Hare Rama. This does not mean Ramchandra, it means Krishna also. Rama means one who gives enjoyment. What are we calling out to? We're calling out for service. How can I please you, Radha and Krishna? This is the only request we can make. We cannot request material benefits. We cannot request liberation. We cannot request yoga cities or anything. But we can request service. We can engage. How can I please you? That's an expression of our bhakti, our love. So when we chant Hare Krishna, we should be very careful that it is not a mechanical process and the words are not just abstract sounds. Hare is non-different from Radha, and Krishna is non-different from Krishna. We're calling out to them, but our intention is to express our devotion to them, unconditional love for Radha and Krishna. How can we please you? How can we serve you with no material motives at all? Serve you simply to please you. Okay? So that is the move behind the Sankirtan movement. Okay? And it is through this that the population at large gets the chance to access Radha and Krishna, which are the highest possible stage of bliss in the spiritual world. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gives that to us through the process of Nam Sankirtan. Therefore, we should use this process of Nam-Sankirtan very, very carefully, skillfully, so that we can access that treasure. Okay, Hare Krishna. You take questions or not?
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, Maharaj, for sharing in such a detail. There are a few questions in the chat box. You can take. First question. Yeah, you can see that.
Like that is gonna work. Where's chat? 5 questions are there? Okay.
It's from Dhir Gaur, bro.
Pretty translation it says here. Okay. My question is mentioned that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came in the first Sunday of Kali Yuga. What actually is the Sunday and how long does it last? Well, I don't know the exact figures, but there is a beginning Sunday and an ending Sunday of each yuga, a specific number of years, probably in proportion to the length of the yuga itself. So we have a Sunday at the beginning of Satya Yuga and at the end, the beginning of Treta Yuga at the end of Treta Yuga, beginning of Dwapara Yuga at the end of Dwapara Yuga, and the beginning of Kali Yuga at the end of Kali Yuga. So probably the Sunday in Kali Yuga is at least 5,000 years. I don't know exactly. You can look it up on Wikipedia or something. Google it, you'll find out. There's a standard number for that. You can get the recording if you want, the PPT. There's no problem. I can send it to you. Somebody. What is the best way to do a Qadasi if Nirjal is not possible? Well, best is different for different people. Mainly, Ekadasi is literally is called the Harivasara, or the day of Hari, the day of the Lord, the day of Vishnu, etc. Or I guess the day of Krishna. So it's a day to remember Krishna, and particularly by some sort of fast. So fasting, of course, means not eating, but then we have what is called anukalpa, which means a substitute for fasting, at which you can pick some objects like fruits or water, medicines, and other things. So some things can be taken and it doesn't break the fast. So, take non-grains, for instance, not break the fast. So therefore, we consider fasting abstain from grains and all. So we at least do that. That is considered to be our fast for a fasting. That's one aspect. The other aspect, of course, you should remember the Lord more. If we fast and we can't remember the Lord at all because our stomach hurts, that's not good. So the main idea is we're supposed to perform better devotional service. This, of course, has a medical reason as well. Generally, people overeat. So overeating causes you health problems, and then you cannot concentrate your mind too good. So therefore, if you fast several times a month, then this will help to improve your health and reduce your eating a little bit so that you can concentrate more. Even a general effect is there by fasting from grains. It helps everybody, even though it might be minimal. It doesn't reduce you 5 kilos or anything, but at least helps not so your health does not become weak, so that you can concentrate on your health. That's one thing, but then other people do more special efforts to concentrate by chanting more japa, or doing more kirtan, or doing more study and reading, shravana, etc. So that's also very good. The main point is remember the Lord and don't forget Him. So that's the main idea. How can we understand the two incarnations of one personality in Chaitanya? Oh, yeah. Like Ramananda Roy has like 4 or 5 people in him. This is possible by the inconceivable power of the Supreme Lord, I suppose we could say. He can make different arrangements. The reason that is explained in this way is because sometimes that devotee may manifest qualities of one personality in Krishna Lila, and at other times other qualities of another person in Krishna Lila. So therefore, sometimes we have 2 or 3 persons represented by one devotee in Chaitanya Lila, because manifests different aspects of different people in Krishna Lila. So that is possible because of the arrangement of the Lord himself. Oh, what is the age of the devatas? Actually, the devatas change with every Manvantara period, which is 71 yuga cycles, so 71 times 4 million, whatever, 300,000 years. That's the extent of the Manvantara period. So Manu starts the period, and then his descendants carry on for the 71 yuga cycles. And in that period, the devatas have their posts, Svargaloka, as well as the sages. And then after that, another Manvantara period starts with another Manu. The devatas change. So those Indra is no longer Indra, another Jiva becomes Indra, another Jiva becomes Agni, etc. So therefore their span is only 1/14 of a day of Brahma in which they can rule. It's not even 1 day of Brahma. So they are only immortal in the sense that they live longer than us, much longer than us. So that's 71 times 4 million years. So that's quite long. It's not even 1 day of Brahma, 1/14 of a day of Brahma. Okay, is that it?
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, Maharaj. These were all questions. Thank you very much for sharing your time and
Okay.
giving
Fine.
of us. And especially you discussed about different associates of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and their relevance in Krishna Lila, and discussed all this in so detail. Thank you very much, Maharaj, for being with
Okay.
us.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So we thanks Maharaj by loudly chanting one time Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare.
Very well.
Hare Krishna devotees. So we will be continuing. Today, this was the last session, and tomorrow morning we are continuing with Devkinandan Prabhu is speaking from 8 to 9 a.m. And then in the evening, 5 to 6 p.m., His Holiness Rompa Swami Maharaj will speak, and 7:40 to 8:40, His Grace Basu Ghosh Prabhu. So we seek association of all of you in further sessions. Hare Krishna. Jai Shri Gaur Purnima Maha Mahotsav ki